Minneapolis, 3rd Precinct. That's the police station right there. That's why I'm doing this to you guys. What the? I ain't got part of that shit. Dude. Oh, I zoomed in. I'll zoom out a little bit. Those cops will come for you if you're pulling that crap.
Looks like, yeah. So as you can see, the auto goes.
This guy just came with a hammer and smashed the windows.
Follow me. I'm gonna fight you right now.
You wanna go? What's up? Somebody hold my blunt.
Hey!
Somebody hold my blunt. I'm gonna give you up. Hey! Are you a fucking cop? What's up?
All right. Hello, Knockouts. Tonya TKO here. And well, look at what we have here. So we finally got our hands on the footage of that mystery man who was caught breaking windows in Minnesota. So there was a guy who was just, look, everybody is walking around. They got their groceries. They're just chilling, right? And then he turns the camera and look at what you see. A man in some getup. Look at him dressed in all black. The mask on his face, looking like you remember when we were kids that it was that spy cartoon with the person dressed in all black. And then so here comes this guy carrying a pizza, right? And he's like trying to stand in front of the guy, trying to stop him from destroying these windows. And this whole thing is just so very, very strange because he's like, you know, and then somebody else comes up and is like, what is you doing? Because, you know, as you see, everybody's just standing around there protesting near the precinct, but there's no violence. You don't see any damage. But this guy comes in out of nowhere and he starts the damage. So the black guy is pursuing him. And the guy tries to dip around, then you hear a woman scream because this guy is walking, he's looking crazy, he has a hammer. And you remember that song from when we were kids? One of these things just doesn't belong here. So one of these things just doesn't, no, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Look at him. He's walking around with an umbrella. This is so strange. He got on full gloves, full black outfit. He got the Frogger mask on his face, covering up his face. He's walking. You see him zigzagging. And then the guy is like pursuing him and he turns around and he says, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to hit you. Now, there are people who were saying that this may be a police officer and the guy's like, hey, hold my blunt, right? And so he realizes he's outnumbered. I mean, look, he has the whole mask on his face and everything. Then he tries to smack the guy's camera away. There was something about the way that he stood up there as if he had authority over this man that made that, I mean, it's out of place. It's out of order, right? He's like, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to hit you. Really, mother effer, who are you, right? So the black guy's pursuing him. And what happens here? Look, this whole thing is just strange and bizarre to me. Let's talk about this real quick. All right. This country is so, this country is so smart and calculating with its insidious just preciseness. How would you be able to get the public to turn on protesters, turn the protesting from protesting into damage, looting, violence, etc.? And who better to do that than to send a covert operative in there? This wasn't just any ordinary man. Look at the way he's walking, stalking about the place. So you send an operative in there to up the ante, to get the property damage, to set fires. People were saying that they saw business owners setting fires to their own properties to be able to collect the insurance money. And so now the world is now split and divided. The conversation has been moved from, protesting to get these people arrested to now people talking about looting and how that's wrong, et cetera, et cetera. I even see, and it's bizarre, I see Caucasians online. I had one on my page, and before I could, because I got in his ass, and before I could screenshot it, he deleted his comment because he was like, I don't know who's worse, the cops or these people. And I'm like, you don't know who's worse? People who are, first, okay, you don't know who's worse, the police officers who strangled a man, who crushed his windpipe as he screamed and pleaded for air, or as he gasped and pleaded for air, crushed his windpipe under your knee and snuffed out his life, or some people who are taking replaceable items. I mean, it's like, to even make that comparison just shows you how sick in the head this country is, that people can make the comparison. It's like they don't see us as humans. They don't see us as humans, and it comes second nature, that they're like, oh, well, yeah, property damage is much worse. And so this country is so calculating. First of all, you think they didn't know the pandemic was coming? I had an associate in January who travels, who was letting me know the pandemic was coming in January. You think that we don't have trained officials in our government to know more than lay people? And so how do you get the people to turn on the protesters? Turn it into a riot, make sure that there's violence, and then all of a sudden the sympathetic ears and eyes. But no, this is not the time of the past. We're not going to allow you, we're not going to shrink back down because you call us thugs. These are the thugs. This guy is the thug. The president is a thug. The police officers who killed that man were thugs. So no, we're not going to shrink away because you're talking about you're calling us names. No, we're over that. When I remember a few years ago, some team won or lost, and Caucasians were in the streets stomping on cars, setting things on fire, and it was old boys will be boys, right? But then these people protesting a murder and the lack of police accountability. Oh, speaking of which, you saw how they were arresting doggone reporters, right? So they know how to arrest people in Minnesota, but they didn't know how to arrest and still haven't arrested the police officer who took this person's life. So now you got this thug, this wannabe thug in office talking about when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Really? But what better way to get that shooting to start than to send an operative in there to get the looting to start? This whole thing is a setup. And then now you got all of these white anchors and people programming the public into seeing looting as wrong. Didn't JFK say, those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable? And so here we have it. Now the people are acting out. You keep people deprived of resources, then you send an operative in there to bust open some windows to some stores. Like, if I passed by a store whose doors or windows were open, I wouldn't take anything because I'm not in need. But you keep people starving, you keep them hungry, you keep them cut off from being able to have certain items. Then you send somebody in there that busts open a window and rolls out the red carpet, and then what do you have? And then you have these people reporting on it on the news, but they're not showing the Caucasians. First of all, Minnesota is a mostly white state. Most of the people that I saw in the protests are Caucasians. But when you look at the people who they are showing on the news, they don't show you the images of the Caucasians taking things out of stores. They want to show you the images of wild black people rummaging through. All right, all that stuff is replaceable. Look, this country was built off of our backs. Okay. All that free labor, all these companies and all these countries who made their millions off of the labor of black people. All right. So now people are taking. All right. Look, first of all, Europe and these European countries spent hundreds of years looting and pillaging throughout the world. Now, all of a sudden, now that they done built up their fortunes and now holding them up in stores, now all of a sudden you're going to talk about you people are looting? No, you are the looters. And some people, hey, Just taking it back. They redistributing. These people are Robin Hoods. And that man with the pizza box and the blunt is a hero. And I only wish that they had tackled that man, held him down and pulled that Frogger outfit off of him, did a citizen's arrest. You know, it's funny how white people think that they have such dominion over our bodies, like how those white men thought that they were going to do a citizen's arrest on Ahmaud Arbery. They should have held this man down right here and did a citizen's arrest on him. That is property damage. This is, you know what? I only wish that we knew his identity. Look, the police have put out a statement saying that it's not the guy that everyone is saying that it is, but the eyes do sure look the same to me. They claim that the guy was sitting at a desk, but can you believe anything that these people say? Look, I'm out of here. I want to hear your thoughts and your point of view below. This situation is it's just a setup. Everything is fake. This is fake. The people who are calling news fake are the ones who are fake news. And then you hear the president, the bully pulpit, going on and on and on about how he hates CNN. And then all of a sudden, now CNN reporters are getting arrested. Listen, the revolution will not be televised. It won't, but it will be right here on Facebook and YouTube. Listen, I'll see you in the comments. I want to hear your point of view. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, make sure that you subscribe, and hit the bell notifications to be notified of new videos. Leave a comment below, share the video, and come over to TonyaTKO.com to subscribe to my personal mailing list and drop me a message of a viral story that you'd like for me to cover. See you on the other side. Peace.